Next, we're going to talk about something called chain of thought prompting, which is certainly interesting. However, it's not something that I use day to day, but it's fascinating. So the concept here is that there's a paper, there's actually quite a few papers released on this concept about using specific phrasing and specific techniques to prompt a model to be able to solve more complex reasoning problems by generating a chain of thought with intermediate steps along the way. So by providing, in this example, this is one of the early papers on this topic, simple like textbook math problems, word problems for elementary students. The cafeteria had 23 apples. If they used 20 to make lunch and bought 6 more, how many do they have? Certain models get that wrong. But then in this chain of thought version over here, let's see if I can zoom in a bit, the prompt is a little different. It starts with a question and then an answer. So this is a one-shot prompt, right? There's an example. Here's a question, here's a corresponding answer. But instead of just saying the answer is 11, the answer now says the answer is 11, but it also has an explanation of the reasoning, step-by-step thought process. Roger started with 5. 2 cans of 3 tennis balls means you have 6. 5 plus 6 equals 11. And then we can prompt it for the next step, and it continues with this chain of thought process where it actually provides the reasoning. So we don't have to do all of this. What we can actually do is just use the phrase think step by step, or explain your reasoning step by step, or provide a chain of your thoughts. That sort of prompting can actually make a significant difference. All right, so I'm going to show you an example here. I am going to use GPT 3.5 because most of the examples from the research papers that are out there, the blog posts on chain of thought prompting, are not a problem anymore for GPT-4. So I'm going to go to 3.5 on purpose to try and generate something that it gets wrong. So I'm going to ask a simple question. What is the 4th word in the phrase, or I'm not even going to give it a real phrase. I'm just going to put some words in here. I am not that, what, not you. And the 4th word should be 1, 2, 3, 4, that. And it didn't get it right. The 4th word in the phrase, I am not that, what, not you, is not. It's telling me the answer is not, which is not correct, right? That's the 3rd word in the phrase. So what I can do is simply add think step by step, explain your reasoning step by step, show me a chain of thought, and that should be enough to change the output and not only give me the right answer, but give me an explanation. So I'll just say think step by step. There's not a lot of steps here, but you can see it breaks it down, and it does result in the correct answer. The 4th word in the phrase is that, which is correct, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it gives me a full explanation, which is kind of silly. I don't need the explanation, but by asking it to explain itself step by step, it arrives at the right answer, where before it wasn't giving me the right answer. So it's, like I said, I think it's fascinating. These are silly examples where I like to use think step by step, or things like explain your reasoning step by step, is when I'm giving some sort of complex command where there's not a right or wrong answer, but instead I want it to explain what it is doing, what it's thinking, quote unquote thinking, as I give it a prompt. So here's an example of what I mean. I'm going to ask GPT, well, I guess I'm using 3.5 here. Maybe I should use 4 to get a better result. But either way, I'm using a model to write me a blog post. I want you to act as an expert web development instructor, course creator, and blog writer. You are an expert on topics related to web dev, coding, AI, and technical interviews. You are creating a blog post on how to prepare for coding interviews. I'll say, write me an abstract of 100 to 200 words, and then write the entire blog post. The new thing is that I'm then going to say, explain or provide a step-by-step explanation of your reasoning for every decision you make. So let's see what happens here. Why don't I do this in GPT-4, by the way? Okay, GPT-4, I'm running the same prompt. So nothing all that exciting, except what's new is I'm telling it to provide a step-by-step explanation for its reasoning. So let's see what it does. It gives me the abstract about, cracking the coding interviews, what it's going to cover. Readers will be equipped with a framework to conquer any coding challenges. Oh, look, it decided to give me Markdown. I didn't even ask for that, but it formats it as Markdown. It writes the blog post. I'll be back when it finishes. Okay, so it finished the blog post. Now it's giving me the reasoning that I asked for. So you could also reverse the order. You could say, before you write the post, give me a step-by-step explanation of your reasoning. But now it's giving me this explanation. The structure of the blog post is designed to offer a comprehensive view of the preparation process for coding interviews. Each section highlights a particular area of preparation, backed by specific resources and strategies. The goal is to guide the reader through a systemic and efficient preparation process, and so on. So if I find something that I'm not happy with in its thought process, in its reasoning here, by telling it to explain the reasoning to me, it's clear, right? I can see what its goals were and how it was reasoning, what decisions it was making. Like I said, I don't use this all the time. It's more of just an interesting prompting technique, but this is something that we can do. At any point, you can ask it to provide a step-by-step explanation of its reasoning.